Hey guys, today we are going to do our candid cap on what it's like when you lose someone, when someone passes away that you have felt like you just couldn't live without. That has happened to us 1 year into our marriage. Aaron's dad passed away suddenly, and it was just awful. It was totally awful. And the way that Aaron handled it was so incredibly inspiring and so beautiful that I feel like it would be helpful for other people who either are facing losing someone that they care about to some kind of terminal illness, or if you have lost a person who you care about and you don't even know how to keep living. And then as an added bonus, if you have recently gotten married to someone who's experiencing a loss that you don't understand, I also hope that this video will help you to maybe be able to navigate something with a little bit more grace than you think you can. So, yeah.
So the person in question for me was my father. My father is a great man, was a great man. He was a manly man, but was also very loving and caring, and was incredibly logical and insightful. He had a lot of wisdom, you know. So growing up with him, he quickly became my hero. You know, I emulated him as a child, and I grew up knowing him as a friend, along with being a strong father figure. Now, it doesn't mean that our life or our relationship was perfect. It never was. You know, there are issues I had with him, you know, and I think everybody does with their parents. Like, there's, you know, no parent's perfect. But overall, I would say it's about as perfect of a father as I could have ever hoped for. Knowing
he
that
was awesome.
Yes.
He was awesome. I mean, he was just awesome. I feel
caring,
like,
loving, selfless.
So selfless and so caring, but also like funny and fun. He officiated our wedding. We decided to get married. If you've watched any of our stuff, we decided to get married very quickly, within a couple of weeks. And my family was understandably hesitant. His dad, amazing, and he actually officiated our wedding. It was so special.
Yeah, he even, you know, it's kind of weird, but he was the
person who married us.
Yeah, the guy who married us.
Yeah.
So yeah, because he became a pastor, or whatever, online, which a lot, you know, that's like a thing now. So anyway, I think the hardest part was I got the news about 2 years into our marriage, actually. About 2 years. Because we had Ezra at that point as like as a baby, and
we were pregnant with Isaac at the time.
Yes, we were pregnant with Isaac at the time. My wife was out getting groceries, and I was actually very sick. I was, you know, it's one of those sicks where you really can't do anything. Yeah. You just feel like, you know,
like the flu type thing.
It was like a flu. It was like the flu.
It was a really bad day. It was actually the one day of my life that if I could take back any day and redo it, that would be the one time that I regret so terribly how I handled everything. It was
she didn't know, obviously. You know, I essentially got called by my mom. Said that your dad had a heart attack, and he was on his way to the hospital. And she had asked me if I wanted to meet them there. And I was so sick. I couldn't even fathom being able to get into a car and heading to the hospital.
And you were also at home with Ezra, because I was at the store by myself. Yeah. So he was at home, horribly sick. I was out at the store.
Yeah. I didn't remember where the kid was, so I guess they were going to have been with me. But I essentially said, hey, just, you know, go there and tell me, you know, keep me up to date with what's going on. So I went back to sleep like immediately because I was out of it. I was so sick. And I got another call sometime later. Said that my dad was passed. Had passed. And it was from my mom again. So your father's died. And it was shocking, I think. You know, you have a guy that you've elevated to a larger place in life. You know, he was my hero, but he was a superhero to me. You know, he every time I needed somebody, like whether I needed someone for advice or if I needed to to really kind of recheck my approach in life, which I guess is still advice, but for the most part, that was the guy, and if I felt like I was out of options, like he gave me new options, whether it be from physically helping me or just giving me another point of view in order to get by my struggle in life. And
he was the guy that Aaron would call him. Like, as you get older, you have very few people that you could just call on your way home from work. And our parents are still they hold that place, and it's huge, and it becomes more of a best friend position as you get older, because there just aren't those people who make themselves available to you with their whole heart. And his dad was that.
He became my confidant, along with a friend, and then my father. So watching someone gets just boom, gone, that literally was like, if there was ever a problem with me and my wife, he was the only person I felt like I could go talk to about it. And he was gone, just like that. I was too sick to do anything about it. My mom asked me if I wanted to come help identify the body, and I couldn't bring myself to it. Like, don't want to see him in that place, taking her word for it was enough for me. But at the same time, I want to preserve my memory of him, as a strong, alive person, and not be my last memory watching someone where someone was in life, in this body, He was playing basketball. I mean, the guy went out in a way that it's almost ironic, was the way he wanted to go out. He was a big fan of Pistol Pete Maravich, which was a basketball player that, if you guys don't know, was a legendary basketball player who one day got out in a basketball court and had a heart attack and died. And he was an incredible, Pistol Pete was a very good player. And my dad idolized him and said, that's the way I want to go out. Ironically, my dad was playing basketball when he had his heart attack.
Well, and when Aaron found out, he tried to reach me. So he called my phone many, many, many times, and I also talked about this in another video, but I don't always handle it when Aaron is sick very well. So I was just frustrated. I was pregnant, and I don't do well with pregnancy. I was out at the store getting the things that we needed, and he was trying to reach me. And so when I finally answered the phone, I basically yelled at him about why the heck was he calling me 1,000 times. He knew I was at the store and I was trying to get stuff, and my hands were full. And then, of course, he then said, my dad just died. And I thought, oh my God, I can't even believe it. Oh my God. And then from that point, there was such an unknown of like, now what are we going to do? How are we going to manage this? And what happens when a person is grieving? Like, Aaron is our sole income earner, and I just didn't know what it was going to look like. So how did you recover? How did you get past it?
So I had to logically process this in a way that was going to be helpful. And I think it's very easy to feel sorry for yourself when something tragic like this happens. I mean, no one would ever blame me for stepping away, and stepping down. And I mean, I was already sick, right? At that point in time, no one would. But the problem I had with it was, why am I so upset about my dad dying? That's the question I asked myself. Is it because he's no longer going to be there for me? Is it because he's a wonderful person and that every moment he's alive, it blesses people around him? Because that's true. He's the patriarch of the family. He was the glue that kept people together. He's the person that kept everyone focused on family and was selfless enough that he was touching everyone's lives at all times, and no one really understood it. But no, ultimately, the reasons I was upset right off the bat was because he wasn't going to be there for me. That father-son relationship was now over. And although he would always be my father, that there would no longer be anything else to build upon that.
Well, and because we were both raised in the Christian faith, we have a faith that guides us. And so we feel like after we die, we get to be with Jesus, and we get to be with other people that we love, that we've lost, who accepted Christ into their heart. So there is a feeling of missing a person because you need them here, not because you think that they're in a worse place. It's this idea of you're definitely in a better place, and praise God. However, I need you so badly, and you're gone, and I don't know how I'm going to make it through life without you, other than to like be inspired by who you were and take the inspiration to guide me in my life. And I feel like that's what Aaron has done. He just decided in that moment he wanted to be a better father.
Yeah, so that's actually what sparked my desire to have my father when I am, in my 30s and technically, making it, right, as a father and as a husband. My desire to have a father reminded me that I have kids now who desire to have me as a father. And that if I am absent for that, I am denying them something in a much earlier age, what I am craving at an older age.
Yeah.
And that is, for me, wrong. Although it's not wrong to mourn my father, not wrong to, necessarily take a step back if I needed to, right? It is very wrong for me to deny my children that which I'm craving. And I had to then step up and be twice the father that I already was. That I had to redouble down to be there for them and to be loving to them and to give them the things that I'm craving. And the moment I feel like I need my dad, I need to then become a dad. And I need to become the best dad. And I need to double down on it. Because honestly, my mom lacking a husband, my wife needs a better husband. You know what I'm saying? Needs me to be there as that husband. And I think that was what I needed to be. If you lose a friend, you need to then become a better friend to somebody else. Double down on the things that you're craving and be that for somebody else, because I think that's truly what's important in life. That if someone dies, you need to be that for those that are living. And that's why I was able, it actually helped me through my mourning, because it was like every time I felt the sadness, I then had to, I used that energy to focus on a mission, and that's really it.
Yeah, so that's us. So our hope in having these candid clips is that some of the things that we've learned in life that have helped us in our personal lives and in our relationship will help you too. So if you have a person in your life who's lost someone, you have to just be as supportive as you possibly can and give them room to mourn. And if you are the person who has lost someone, if you take the memory of that person and try to fill that space that's now vacated in the lives of other people, that's a great way to go about it. And I'm so glad that Aaron is so awesome. He's such a great dad, and he's even a better dad since losing his amazing father, Les. And we hope you guys have a good week, and we'll see you back here next week. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You.